Hey guys, today's video is a two-part video based off of or inspired by Medusa. I encourage you to watch the entire video beginning to end because there is a ton of information I go over in this video. For my idea, both looks shown are in the transitioning point, so the first look before her transition or before the curse, or even right after when she knows what's going to happen. Medusa was known to be very beautiful before her curse, but knowing her fate, I made the gold glittery tears. And then for the second look, it's obviously more of a scarier monster appearance, which is how she looks after the curse. To begin part one of this look, I'm going to start with the Bye Bye Pores from IT Cosmetics. This is just a face primer on all over. Then I'm going to fill in my brows with the IT Cosmetics Brow Pencil, and this is the Universal shade. I use this pencil pretty much on a daily basis, but for this look I press down harder to make the shade darker. To begin my eyes, I'm going to prime my eyelids with the e.l.f. Eyelid Primer. For shadow, the first color I'm going to use is this light, bright champagne color, and this is from the Maybelline Eye Studio palette. This is the Green with Envy palette. I'm placing this on the center of the lid up into the crease. And this shadow is just focused on the centers. Next, on each corner, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Molten Bronzed Liquid Eyeshadow. I start by placing dots in the area I want the liquid eyeshadow to go, or the darker shade, which is the inner and outer corners. And then I take a brush and blend inward into the crease or the center of the eye. Back to that Maybelline palette, we're going to use the darkest shade, which is a mix between a black and a smoky green. We're going to place this on the outer corner. This shadow does have glitter or shimmer in it, so to keep that effect, we're just going to press rather than blend. For eyeliner, I'm using the Smashbox 3D Billionaire Always Sharp Eyeliner, and I'm placing this on the bottom lash line about 3/4 of the way over. Now to brighten up my brow bone, I'm going to use the original eyeshadow that we first used on the lid. I'm just placing this underneath my brow. You can see here how it's more of a white shade and how the lid turned more of a darker bronze shade. Now for mascara, I'm using my favorite mascara. This is the Superhero IT Cosmetics mascara. And then on the top lash line, I'm using my Everblinks Love Aflare eyelashes. Now onto the face, I'm going to use two different shade concealers. I'm first going to use Vanilla, and then I'm going to use Custard. These are the NARS Radiant Concealers. There isn't a shade that is exact to my skin tone, so mixing these two I found to be the best. I began by placing this under the eye, so it's going to help cover the redness in the cheek, the dark circles, and any fallout from the eyeshadow. And then I continue on with the rest of the face. Now I'm going to create a base where I'm going to apply the gold tears. This is the Champagne eyeshadow again. I'm placing this in the center of the bottom lash line and then pulling it down, sort of like a triangle, down on my cheek. I forgot to add color back into my skin after I canceled out all the imperfections and redness. So I'm going to take a bronzer, this is the Benefit Hoola bronzer, and apply this under the cheekbone, basically the area that we contour. And I'm going to do this a bit heavier than normal just because I want to chisel out the face more. I used a couple different lip products to achieve the lip color. The first one is Naked from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is their matte liquid lipstick. Then over top of that I applied the e.l.f. Natural Nymph. This is a nude lipstick. And then to top it all off, I use the CoverGirl Lip Lava, and this is in the shade Colorlicious 880 Lava Glow. I love this lip gloss. It reminds me of the MAC Dazzle Glass, which are very shimmery or glittery colors. Now using that same lip gloss, I'm going to create the tears. So I'm going to use a brush and apply this underneath the eye and pull it down onto my cheek where I place that champagne eyeshadow. I thought the golden tears or the crying kept with the glam feel to the look and gave it a little bit of an extra detail to go along with the goddess or mythology theme. As part of Medusa's curse, she would turn people to stone when they looked at her. So I placed the golden glitter eyeshadow all on my neck, and then I placed this on the areas that you would apply the bronzer, so cheekbones and forehead. This sort of framed the face. It also caught the light and gave it a little bit of a gleam or glisten to the skin, but again, just to go with that mythological feel. But that's everything for the glamour version of this look. You can see here I added the headpiece as the final touch. I'm going to show you how to make this headpiece next, so keep watching if you're interested in that or any other part of this video. To create the snake crown, I first purchased about 20 plastic snakes. I got these in the toy section of the dollar store. You can find rubber or plastic or toy snakes in a bunch of different places, craft stores, toy stores, Amazon, wherever you can get your hands on them. Then I used gold metallic spray paint and spray paint the top and bottom of all the snakes. The easiest way I found to do this was to use a piece of cardboard. In this case, it was a pizza box. Place them all in and spray, and then once the top is dry, you can flip them over and spray them again. Another dollar store purchase was this headband. It's just a clear plastic headband. You can use anything for this, really. You'll also need glue. I used a hot glue gun. And then this wire was from the dollar store. It's just a metal wire, and I used this to hold the snakes together on the headband as well as on each other. So basically, I just started layering the snakes. I applied glue under each one. The pieces that were connected to the headband itself, I also used wire on. You can see that here. You can apply the wire on their neck or body. If you need to or want to, you can also cut the snakes to manipulate the shape and size of your headpiece. Now for part 2, this is the monster looking or cursed looking Medusa. I'm going to begin this part by showing you how I made the prosthetic. The first things you're going to need are plaster wrap and Vaseline. You can purchase plaster wrap from any craft store, and then the Vaseline is used to protect your brows and lashes. Basically, it just creates a barrier so the plaster wrap doesn't rip off your hair. Next, you're going to cut the plaster wrap into smaller pieces, such as squares and rectangles that are going to fit your face. You're going to apply these in layers. So you take each strip one by one, you dip it in a bowl of water, then apply the strip to your face. You can move your fingers around onto the strip to get the plaster to fill all the holes. Then repeat this process and allow it to dry. After your plaster wrap is done and dry, you can begin to peel it off. I like to move my face around to loosen it up and then peel it away carefully. You can then create a bed. I used washcloths in a bowl. This is where you place the mask, and then you can pour the plaster inside. I like to line the Vaseline inside the mask before pouring the plaster in. That way it's easy to peel off or remove. Because the prosthetic I'm making is only around my nose area, I did not fill the mask completely. If you are doing a fuller prosthetic piece, then obviously fill the mask and create the full model or mold. Once your model is dry, you can begin to build clay on top and create a new mold. However you sculpt the clay, that's how your prosthetic piece will dry or look when it's ready. So be sure to add any details that you want to be imprinted into the prosthetic. When you're done sculpting your clay, you can then make your latex. To make latex, I use 3 parts gelatin, 2 parts glycerin, and 1 part water. Mix this together in a bowl and then heat the mixture in a microwave about 10 seconds at a time. You don't want to microwave it for too long all at once because it will burn and then you can't use it. So make sure you do small amounts of time, stirring in between each until it's completely melted and a nice liquid consistency. It should basically smell like baby shit. Then you know it's ready. After you applied your layers and let the mask dry, you can then peel it off your mold. So to apply the prosthetic, I'm going to first apply latex. You can use a bunch of different types of adhesive to get this to stick to your skin. I'm going to place this on the area that I want the prosthetic to go, so that would be the nose area, cheek, forehead, and above my lip. You can make the shape however you'd like. You're going to stick this down and allow it to dry. I did stick a cotton ball underneath the nose to give it a little bit more of a raise on each side. I made my prosthetic very thin, so it didn't have much volume on its own, so placing the cotton underneath helped to support the bridge and really flatten that nose out. This piece will be extremely flexible, so you can manipulate it in any shape or way that you'd like. Next, I'm going to create the nostrils or nose holes. So carefully, I'm going to take a pair of scissors and snip this in the area that I want the nose holes to be. To go with the snake appearance, they're going to be higher and closer together. They're also larger and longer in size. So basically just compare this to a snake or a sexual Voldemort, sexy Squidward, if you will. To give more of a nostril appearance, I'm going to use black eyeliner and place this inside the hole we just created. This is going to create depth. Now I'm going to use my Morphe concealer palette and I'm going to place this over the prosthetic as well as my skin. You'll be able to see it more with the color giving definition to the prosthetic, but I did put a lot of detail into the edges, creating a ripped or transforming effect. I wanted to do something similar to Game of Thrones grayscale, if anyone's seen that. It's sort of like a disease that attaches itself and grows onto the skin. I also created a lot of rippling or indents and detail to create sort of like a scaly looking texture or dry skin. So I wanted this to be like mid-transformation. You could do the extra step and add more prosthetics throughout the body to create different patches, such as the neck or hand, to go along with the face piece. You could even complete the whole face mask to create the entire snake-looking face. But again, just apply your concealer or foundation over top the entire face, including this piece. Once I'm done applying my liquid, I can then set it with a powder, so I just use a translucent powder over top everything. I'm going to apply contacts to give it more of a special effects look. These are yellow contacts. I'll have the link for them in the description box. Try not to drop them and break them like I did. Then to finish up the makeup, I applied black eyeshadow on my eyelids and around the bridge of my nose to give more depth. Fangs and blood are up to you if you want to add them. It just depends on how scary you want your Medusa monster to be. So that is everything for both Medusa looks. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorials. If you have any other questions, make sure you read the description box or comment below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.